and welcome back to Camo Show, where I'm the host now.
Are we recording?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay. Well, you can do that. Go ahead.
Welcome back to Out of My Head on YouTube, where Collin Kimball's now the host because KMO's lame.
I'll just sit here and be pretty.
That's my job, though.
Oh, wow. I'll just sit here and observe.
You're the one with the ideas.
Right. You know this word?
Hashtag DOYNG.
Yeah.
Doing. Do online you now, guys. Yeah.
Do online you now, guys?
Well, see, DONG is do online now, guys.
Is it?
Which is a thing by Visa, so I don't know that one, though.
Oh, okay. I think that's from just a Twitter thread where somebody started off saying, why isn't doing, D-O-I-N-G, pronounced doing? These are the important issues that we have to grapple with. That's a big one. Let's warm up with the State of the Union.
Easier for me.
Yes, yes.
Somehow less stupid.
Somehow less stupid. So anyway, yeah, I did a reaction video to the State of the Union. You watched it. What's your reaction to my reaction?
Well, you see, I liked parts of your reaction. I didn't like parts of your reaction.
Ah, that's meta.
The parts that you agreed with, I liked, and the parts you disagreed with, I disagreed with. And
So you like the whole speech?
No.
No.
I'm exaggerating for dramatic effect. No, you had some points. I think you were a bit hard on the border wall.
Yeah?
Yes, it was fear-mongering, blah, blah, blah. It's how politicians do what politicians do. Whether or not that's the best argument for the wall, it's at least an argument for the wall, unlike the other side of the aisle in Congress, which is not giving an argument.
So my issue really was the fear-mongering, not about the wall, but about the mischaracterization of the problem of immigration and unrestricted immigration. That it puts downward pressure on wages for workers who are already here, be they native-born, naturalized citizens, or legal immigrants, green card holders. And the people who really are, the immigrants with the highest impact there are the ones who come in on airplanes, not the ones who, walk in over the desert.
Yeah.
So Trump, in order to not stir it up for the first time, but, to re-inflame the passions that he had instilled in his base, rather than talking about downward pressure on wages and the effects of unrestricted legal immigration, he just appeals to fear, and he highlights a rare case where an illegal immigrant invaded somebody's house and killed an elderly couple, and he had their grieving children and grandchildren come to the State of the Union and basically look sad on camera. And that, that the Trump voters can engage with. It's like, oh yes, dark-skinned person, speaks a different language, comes here to kill my family. That I can engage with, but that's not the problem. And solving that problem doesn't really improve the quality of life in the United States, which is what I'm interested in.
Well, that's a fair argument. I agree with most of that. But so can we agree that it is currently the way we're set up fairly easy for an MS-13 gang member find a place at the border that's unpatrolled and just walk into the country and then go do their gang stuff?
Sure.
It's easy.
Mm-hmm.
I agree it's also mostly a non-issue with the amount of people who are actually coming in and doing stuff. But if he can't get support for let's stop people who want to walk in and kill people, how's he going to get support for, hey, there's some people who are not following the rules and they're driving down wages, they're overstaying their visas and taking good jobs? It's like, that's a lot less controversial, a lot less potent, and
as an argument, it's lame. But
yes,
that's an actual issue that affects people's lives.
I mean, it's
being chopped up and fed to the alligators by the MS-13 gang members. It plays well in a movie,
mm-hmm,
or is a made-for-Netflix original with lots of gore and lots of cringy, oh, that's horrible, horrible. It really engages the mind's eye. But it's in terms of making a better place for business, and it's great for business. I mean, there's a tension between capital and labor, basically. And Republicans and Democrats, corporate Democrats alike, are, they're for the interests of capital. And capital wants unrestricted immigration into this country because it doesn't want to pay, it doesn't want to have to observe workers' rights or the niceties of workplace safety or things like that. And if you have mostly illegals working for you, they have no rights. If they complain, you kick them out.
mm-hmm.
Call INS on them. So really, Trump, I mean, what I like about his position is that without actually coming out and saying, hey, there is this division of interests, there's capital, there's labor. Most of you are on the labor side. I myself am over here on the capital side. But I recognize that capital has been winning, just bowling over the opposition for decades now, and we need to reverse course. He can't say that because, one, his audience won't resonate with it, and two, it doesn't really jive with his brand.
And none of the politicians
Right.
there.
But he comes closer to hinting at that than any mainstream politician.
Oh, I mean,
with the exception of maybe Tulsi Gabbard.
it's definitely. I hope that's where his final position on immigration stands, but where do you have to start? No. As a businessman, probably not. But
and as a guy whose sole purpose in life is building his own brand, basically. Tooting his own horn.
At this point, he's old and going to die soon, so who knows where he's at. But it's just, you got to start somewhere. And it's a lot easier to drum up support for bad guys coming across the border, killing our children and raping our women than it is for, hey, these people are driving down wages. They're working for cheaper than you work, so you don't have a job.
Yeah, but telling that evil bad guys coming to kill your families it doesn't take a lick of courage. I mean, that's just playing the hits.
If you want to start with cracking down on immigration, it's a lot easier to start with scary bad guys than money things.
Yes, exactly.
So
we're in agreement.
Yeah, we are in complete agreement. By the way,
it's just that I don't see any value in it, and it's because I'm not Trump and I'm not building Trump's brand.
But build the wall.
Build the wall? I don't care.
It's really fun to shout build a wall. So the more he says build the wall, the more his base is having fun and being like, yeah, build the wall.
Well, as I mentioned to you yesterday, without the cameras running, if we're going to build a wall, okay, let's build it Wall of China style. I want cyclopean architecture, huge blocks. I want it to be 40 feet thick. I want it to have battlements, and I want it to look really cool, and I want to be able to see it from space. If we're going to do a wall, we need to do that.
I believe you cannot see the Great Wall of China from space.
Oh.
I believe that is a common
Well, we got to go bigger then. Or paint it orange or something.
Not painted. My personal belief is we should do it as cheaply as possible in the most effective manner.
Well, if you want cheap and effective, then you just want drones patrolling that space and tasering people or tagging them, with geolocators or something.
I would be also happy with drones with guns mounted on them going pew pew pew, you crossed the border illegal. I'm not actually cool with
going
that.
That far, but
we shouldn't just kill non-capital offenses across the border.
If the United States demonstrates that it is willing to kill people simply for crossing the border, and it will do so across the board without regard to cuteness or likability or relatability or anything like that, then immigration will just stop. That type of immigration will simply stop.
Yes.
But
ends justified by means, not my thing. Pretty sure we're in agreement there. Also, I can say from personal experience here, I live in Vermont. They know where you live, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
From Vermont, you go up in northern Vermont, it's very easy to accidentally cross the Canadian border. And it would suck if, I'm fishing on the lake, accidentally went too far, now I'm dead.
There was a movie about that. Sleep Dealer. It takes place along the southwest border, between Mexico and the U.S. And there is an agent, an INS agent of Mexican descent, but he's an American citizen. And he is the top drone operator who has killed more people trying to get into the U.S. than anybody else. And he's being recognized for this. And of course, he's a little torn up about it on the inside, but at the same time, he's doing well, personally. And then there are people who go to these telepresence centers in Mexico where they jack in and they operate remotely these construction robots on construction sites in the United States. So you've got foreign labor doing construction in the U.S., but they're actually in Mexico.
Which really brings up a good point about this foreign labor thing. When most jobs are done on a computer remotely, you can hire someone from anywhere, can't you?
Yep. And these workers, there's one worker who's in there, and he's been working this super long shift, and he's getting really sleepy, and he closes his eyes just for a second, and then there's a loud warning tone, and his eyes jerk open, and he's informed that he's just been docked like 10 hours pay or something for sleeping on the job.
He's a Mexican, so he doesn't have rights.
Exactly.
Which is, I don't know how far we want to go into these rants, but it's come to my head, so now I'm going to bring it up. Which brings the whole, how far can you push the employee protections until it becomes so inconvenient to hire an American, where you'd rather take the risk of someone illegal doing the job instead for cheaper, without having to provide health care, or having to pay time and a half over 40 hours, or having to give them a lunch break. So, I mean, yes, we should protect the people who are employees, but also, especially for small businesses, it incentivizes not hiring Americans.
So what's the wise course here?
There isn't one.
Okay. Who are you, by the way?
I'm Collin. That's about it.
Okay. Well, you're not just Collin. You're young person Collin.
Oh yeah, I'm the millennial from the street, Collin.
Yes.
What did Hikane say in your comment section? He's sexy and hilarious or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
So what's the deal with incense?
What's the deal with incense? Well, you know, I'm from that long ago age when you could get arrested for smoking marijuana. So from a young age, you know, if there's incense burning, obviously it's covering something, but there's plausible deniability there. But then I just kind of got used to it. Like it's a ritual now. Good. You know, here's my ritual when I'm going to do the videos. Brush my teeth. Very important to stimulate the inside of the mouth. You know, get the crisp enunciation. And also brushing teeth is just a good idea. And then I light the incense, blow it out, and then when I smell the smoke, got the fresh mouth. Those are my physiological cues to, okay, you're on camera, do your on camera thing.
Interesting.
Yep.
So you've psychologically trained yourself to react to the smell of incense in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as incense is concerned, the only people I've ever known that use incense was the teenage stoners who want to justify their having a lighter by saying, "Oh, it's for my incense."
Right.
And also, I guess, to cover up the smell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know. Is that even effective, or is it just like a?
It's plausible deniability.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, they're young stoners. You can tell by looking at them. Unsavory, illegal activities going on, but you know, incense is a thing. It is legal, and it does require a lighter or matches or something.
Let's talk about doing now. DOYNG. Why is that not how you spell doing? Because you start with the verb do and then you add the ing.
But the question is, why isn't DOING pronounced doing?
Well, you see, when talking about pronunciation, you got to pay attention to A, language of origin, B, structure of the word. The structure of the word doing is do-ing, as in to do something at the present moment. Whatever tense that is present. It's one of the perfect, one of the Latin ones.
Have you watched any of the peak oil videos?
No. What's it about? Give me opinions.
Well, for over 10 years, I've been interviewing people on the topic of peak oil and the cascading failure of critical infrastructure that will result when any part of the system doesn't have enough fossil fuels to keep it running at the rate and at the scale that we are accustomed to having it run. And there are a lot of people who are very attracted to this notion for a variety of reasons, some of them strictly psychological, and I think coming from a place of psychological wounding or damage. You know, it's one way to say, well, you know what, I'm not doing so well in this social arrangement, but I don't care because the whole thing's about to crash and nothing that anybody accomplishes means anything. So there are a variety of approaches, you know, to satisfying that, and the peak oil fast collapse is one such approach. And my response to that is, well, you know, the peak oil fast collapse is really the romantic notion of collapse. The more realistic notion is the long, cyclical, sucky collapse where you're going to live your whole life during the collapse, and people that you think of as being soulless and rapacious and mercenary and just amoral and self-centered, they are going to do very well. And there will be no cosmic justice to swoop in and ruin their party. They're going to live their party their whole lives and die happy, and you are going to be poor and down, you know, degraded and low status your whole life, and there will be no Deus ex machina to come in and just sweep all the chess pieces off the board. It's not going to happen. The losers will continue to lose, and it will be unfair.
I find it really interesting you just described the biblical apocalypse in a way.
It's every apocalypse.
Well, some
People who are doing well are attracted to
Being
this
immoral
glorious
helps when there
future
are no
will go
rules.
on forever.
I gotta say, as far
So
as
somebody can take that out of context. I said go on forever, but if you just take this as a still,
he's a Nazi. Can I punch him now?
hail our victory. Hail Trump. You know who I'm quoting?
Isn't that the actual neo-Nazi guy?
Richard Spencer, yes.
Yeah, actual neo-Nazi. As far as I'm aware, I haven't actually listened to him, so I shouldn't be saying that. Really,
He's a white nationalist. You can say that.
he seems like a jerk, and I don't think I like him.
You saw him in the street, would you punch him?
No.
Good, because that's called assault, and it's illegal and punishable.
Can I go on a rant about punching Nazis now?
Absolutely.
Is it okay to punch a Nazi? Well, no, don't punch people. That's, against the law, and also violates their human rights to not be punched. You can only really punch someone if you're defending yourself or someone else. So if it's a Nazi who's currently trying to go and lynch some mentally disabled kid on the street, punch them, stab them, I don't care. If you just say, oh, that's a Nazi, they're standing there, Camo's a Nazi, he just did the thing, so I'm gonna punch him now. It's not okay. And the reason we need to make this distinction is it's very easy, and a lot of people are doing. You can just scream, oh, that person's a Nazi, and then Camo said it. You can take something out of context. So easy to use as evidence. I mean, at this point in time, you can take people's voices and using programs, make them say things.
This video will get like 80 views in the next 48 hours. So there's not much payoff in taking my, Roman salute out of context.
Take my words out of context, please. I want to see what you can do with them.
Yeah.
That's a call to action, people.
If you work for the Wall Street Journal, it's a much more
PewDiePie.
enviable target. Yes, is PewDiePie.
He did drop the horror N-word.
Did he?
In context where he's using it as an insult, but also I don't think he's a racist. So, shouldn't you use language like that, especially on the internet? And when you have millions and millions of kids watching you, but also, oh no, a word. Words hurt your feelings. You need to work on that one a little bit because they're words. I can't hear you, la 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 la. Or better yet, if Camo starts calling me mean names, I walk out the door and then that's that.
I won't do that.
Lame.
Tell me about the future.
The future is going to be fantastic.
Which parts and for whom?
I think for most people, the future is going to be fantastic. If we're looking at, everyone always likes to think, oh, the apocalypse is coming, the economy is going to go, and the whole world's going to explode. Or short of nuclear holocaust, I really think we're just going to keep going up. There's going to be ups and downs. That's how it's been throughout time. The USA may crash and burn within the next thousands of years, but overall, just going to keep going up. We'll find more clean energy to sustainable ways, solar energy. Go to no more planets. I'm sure it's going to happen. I mean, there's no reason to think we wouldn't continue to grow scientifically.
So, in flashing letters below your face right now, it's saying, techno-utopian, techno-utopian.
Oh, I don't think it's going to be utopian.
Hopium dealer. Have you heard that one before,
I've
Hopium?
not heard that one.
Yes. So the doomers, if you say anything about the potential for anything good happening in the future, they'll say that you are peddling hopium or that you are a hopium addict.
Okay, let me respond to those people.
Hope is a sin.
I hate everything and I'm an emo and I want the world to blow up. Unfortunately, that ain't going to happen because overall humans are good people and technology's going up and up. The only thing stopping us is humans are mean people sometimes. So it's always going to suck for some people. There's always going to be some oppressed class, depending on what you mean by oppressed. Because being poorer than the rest of the people doesn't make you oppressed. Being not able to speak and fight for your life and stuff like that makes you oppressed. But there's always going to be someone who's underneath someone else. Someone's always going to be a dick and hate you for whatever reason. It can be your skin color. It can be your hair color. It can be because you talk funny. It can be because they want to hate you. There's always going to be hate. But we're also going to keep going. It's going to happen. I mean, you can plot out human growth since the moment we started recording history.
There you go, folks. Hopium with Collin.
I hate hope.
All right, we're done.
I'm gonna go listen to emo music now.
All right.